So today we are going to cover the second part related to the foreign exchange arithmetics. And if you have not gone through the first video, make sure you just go through it because that is going to be a game changer for learning the basic concepts for the foreign exchange arithmetics. So we covered the chain rule, two-way quotation, offered rate, bid rate, the calculations of the forward rate, and so many points. So make sure to go through that particular video. And if you have been liking the previous video and you have gone through this, we are going to basically go through this video, then do give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to this channel, which is absolutely free of cost, and also press the bell notification icon so that you get updated whensoever we upload the new videos. So let's start the today's session with the foreign exchange part 2. We have already covered the many basic concepts for the same. So I just told you one particular thing, that it totally depends upon the forward points. So let's take the case that for the 2 month forward points, these are given to be 45/55, right? So these are the buying forward points and these are the selling forward points. And I told you in the previous video also that if the selling forward points are greater than the buying forward points, then we simply say the currency is available at premium. And whensoever the currency is available at premium, what is to be done? The forward points are to be added. That was the scenario, right? So it depends upon the demand and supply points over there. I'm talking about the forward points for now. It depends upon the demand and supply, but there are three major factors upon which it depends. One, it is related to the spot rate. The other one, it's related to the interest rate differential, and the third one, it's related to the forward period. For converting the interest rate differential into decimals, or we can say into the numbers, we'll be dividing it by 100. And for so as to convert the forward period, which is mentioned in days in the years, we divide it by the number of days in the year. So that is a formula for calculating the forward points, and this is very much important from the exam point of view also, because direct questions can be asked and also the numerical question can be asked based upon it. Now let's solve a question based upon it and let's have a look over here. So it is given that calculate the forward points or the swap cost. So both are one and the equivalent thing. And euro to USD price is given. Interest rate differential is given directly. It may be the case that for euro interest rate is given, for USD interest rate is given, and you are to get the difference for the same, and then you'll be using it. And but in this particular question, they have already provided us with the interest rate differential, which is given to be 6%. The forward period is given to be 90 days. We have to take the number of days to be 360 in a year, right? So we have to solve the question accordingly. So as I told you, the forward point calculation is actually based upon 3 points. One, it is related to the spot rate, which is 1.60 multiplied by interest differential. It will be 6 because we'll be dividing it by 100, so as to convert it into numbers. And the forward period is 90, so we'll be using it as it is. So it is divided by 360 because we want to convert the days into number of years, and for the percentage we'll be using 100 over here. Now this we need to solve and we will be getting the answer. So it is 1.6 into 6 multiplied by 90 divided by 36000, that is 0.024. So these are the forward points that we have calculated for the given question. I hope that the points are clear to you. Now let's look at the another question also. The spot rate is given to be, spot exchange is given to be 2.0 multiplied by interest rate differential is given to be 4, and multiplied by the forward period is given to be 60. And accordingly we will be solving the question, and that would be it. So again we have to solve it. Simple calculator is allowed in the exam. So 2 into 4 into 60 divide by 36,000, and that is 0.013, right? So this is as easy as this is. So after that, now let's have a look at the particular chart over here. I told you about the different rates which will be applicable. And here is a given the scenario. We need to tell whether the rates to be used are given true or false. So the date of contract is 29th of the September and the delivery date is as same as that of the delivery contract date, then it is term rate or cash rate. It is cash rate because there is no difference in the settlement, so it is cash rate, or we say to be ready rate. And if it is on the very next day, then it is a term rate. If it is on T plus 2 days basis, then it is a spot rate. If it is greater than, settlement occurs beyond T plus 2 days, then it is a forward rate which will be there. Now Let's understand the concept related to the arbitrage. Now, just think of a person A who is dealing in the multiple markets. Let's say M1 is there, M2 is there, M3 is there. Now, it may be the case that the person is buying one currency in this particular market and further selling it in the other market so as to buy some other currency and then particularly selling it in some other market over there. Means the person is actually trying to exploit the pricing differences or pricing scenario differences in the different markets so as to exploit the conditions so as to make the profit out of it, and this is said to be the arbitrage. And the person who perform this simultaneous tasks of buying and selling a commodity or a currency in two or different markets is said to be the arbitrager, right? So person A will be the arbitrager over here. Now let's solve this question, right? And we'll be using all our brains so as to solve this question because I've already told you the basics in the last video, right? So the forex rate is in Mumbai is given to be 1 USD. I'll be writing it over here too. So 1 USD is equal to 68.10 slash 30. Right now it's nearly around 90, so it's a way back, numerical, but we are to focus on the question only for now. So one UK, in UK the euro is given to be 1.05 or 1.10. I'll be writing it over here. So 1 euro is equal to 1.05 slash 1.10 USD, right? An exporter wants to discount the export bill, right? They want to discount the export. Now, what is discounting of the export bill? First of all, let's understand what is export bill, right? So person A, let's suppose person A is the exporter who has actually sold the goods to person B, who is an importer in some other country. Person A has shipped the goods, but the payment is not made so far. So the person draws a bill of exchange on the person B. So person A, who is an exporter, will be the drawer of the bill because in case of bill of exchange, the drawer is actually the creditor, right? And person B is the drawee on whom the bill is drawn, right? Person B is the drawee. Now person B will be accepting the bill and will be returning this bill back to person A. Now, this particular bill is accepted by person B and is with the person A. But it may be the case that person A wants the payment right now. He wants the liquidity, right? So the bills can be of two forms, right? Bills can be of two forms. One form, it could be the demand bill of exchange. Demand bill of exchange. Demand bill of exchange, as the name suggests, whensoever the bill will be presented to person B, the person B will be having an obligation so as to pay the amount, right? That's a demand bill of exchange. And the other one, it could be the usance bill of exchange, where a credit period is given to person B, right? A particular due date is given to person B. Let's say the person A says, the person A orders to person B, an unconditional order is given by person A to person B so as to pay the amount after 3 months. Now that's a usage basis because the payment is actually delayed, right? So that's a usage bill. So both the bills are different kind. One is the demand bill, in which case on presentation the amount is to be paid, and the other one it's a usage bill where a credit period will be given to person B. That's a drawing, right? Now person A is having the bill and we are assuming it to be the demand bill, right? So person A wants the liquidity right now, and person A basically gave this particular bill to the bank. Let's say bank is XYZ bank, so as to particularly purchase the bill. So in case of the demand bill, in case of the demand bill, the naming that we use is purchasing the bill, right? In case of Hussein's bill, the process is same, but we name it to be discounting the bill, right? So for demand bill, we say purchasing the bill. I'm just writing it over here for your reference. And for Hussein's bill, we say discounting the bill, right? Now in this scenario, we assume it's a demand bill. So XYZ bank will be purchasing the bill and will be giving the liquidity to person A, right? And further, through the correspondent bank of XYZ bank, the XYZ bank will be presenting this bill to the drawee and draw will be making the payment to the corresponding bank, and ultimately the payment will be received by the XYZ bank over here. So this is a process which is followed in case of the export bill, right? Now, let's consider the facts over here. When the person A went to the bank so as to basically discount the bill particularly, or so as to XYZ bank wanted to purchase this bill particularly, what A is going to do? A wants to sell the foreign currency that the person A will be receiving in future, right? Because the person A is a rightful owner of the amount of the foreign currency which is mentioned in the bill of exchange. Let's say the amount mentioned was 10,000 USD, right? Now person A is to sell this currency to XYZ bank. So what kind of rate will be applicable? I told you in the previous video also that two types of rates are there. One, it's related to the merchant rate, when the rates are given between the customers and banks, so it's a merchant rate. And when the banks are dealing with the banks over there, it's the interbank market rate. So what rate will be applicable? It will be the merchant rate will be applicable. So if the person A wants to sell the foreign currency, person A will be able to sell the foreign currency at a price at which the bank is ready to buy. So the bank will be giving what quote? The bank will be giving the buying quote. So it will be what type of transaction? It's a buying transaction because a buying quote is given. So all the export bill transactions are what? These are the buying quote transactions. That is the first point. Let me just write the scenario for you. So all the export bill transactions are the buying transactions, right? I'm not basically saying that the transactions are TT transactions, because I told in the last video also the TT transactions are those transactions where the settlement in both the centers happens on the same day, right? And if it is delayed, then it's a bills transaction, right? I'm not saying it's a TT transaction or bills transaction, but I'm saying that certainly if a export bill transaction is there, then it will be a buying transaction. Okay, now I'm just erasing all the stuff from here because this was just for your convenience and for your understanding purposes. Okay, now let's focus on the question again. Now it is said that the price of the USD is given to be this one, and for euro this is given to be this one. Exporter wants to discount the export bill which is worth of euro 10,000. The amount of the bill is euro 10,000, and how much amount will be given to the exporter here? Now they have not said that a credit period is given, so this is the case of the demand bill of exchange. Demand bill of exchange. There is no delay actually, right? There is no delay actually, but the but it will definitely be taking some time so as to basically get the bill purchased, right? It will be taking some time now because the even if the bank will be purchasing the bill over here, the bank will be presenting the bill through the correspondent bank to the importer, then the bill will be settled, right? So that it will take some time, it will not be settled on the same day. So what rate will be applicable? It will be the bills rate will be applicable. So the transaction over here will be the bills buying transaction. It will be the bills buying transaction which will be applicable over here, right? Is that clear? Now let's solve this particular question. So euro to USD rate will be is given over here. So first of all, if the person A is having the euro, let's say person A is having the euros, right? How many euros? 10,000 euro. The beneficial owner of 10,000 euros. So the person is having the 10,000 euros. So the direct quote is not available. Euro to INR quote is not available, right? So the person A will be doing what? Person A will be selling these euros so as to get the USDs, right? And at what rate the person will be ready to sell? At which the bank is ready to buy, right? At which the bank is ready to buy. So this is the buying rate, this is the selling rate. So we'll be looking for what? We'll be looking for the buying rate. So it will be 1 euro is equal to 1.05 USD, right? Now after that, the person has now bought the USDs. Now the person is having the USDs. Now the person A will be selling the USDs so as to get the INR. Sell the USD so as to get the INR. Again, the buying quote will be given. So what rate will be applicable? This is the buying rate. This is the selling rate. So it will be 1 USD is equal to 68.10 INR. Is that clear? Now we can be rewriting this equation as 1 divided by 1.05 euro is equal to 1 USD. Now we'll be equating these two things. We'll be equating these. LHS equal to RHS. We'll be doing simply that, right? So it is euro divided by 1.05 is equal to 68.10 INR. And we can simply be getting the euro to INR rate. Euro to INR rate, that is 68.10 multiplied by 1.05. Simply solving this particular question, that is 71.505. So this is a cross rate which will be applicable. This is a cross rate which will be applicable, that is euro to INR rate. Okay, now this particular price will be applicable, no exchange margin, nothing is given. So we'll be simply be multiplying 71.505 with 10,000 and that will be answer. So how much amount will be credited? It is 715050. This particular amount will be credited to the exporter's account. Is that clear? Is this clear? Right. Now let's move to some other question. It says USD is available in Delhi at 1 USD is equal to 76.10 USD. A rate in London is given to be 1 USD is equal to 1.10 euro. What will be the euro to rupee rate? So USD in Delhi is available at 1 USD is equal to 76.10, and in London 1 USD is given to be 1.10 euro. Now we can simply be equating these. We can simply be saying 76.10 INR is equal to 1.10 euro. And how to solve? Simply keep in mind euro will be above divided by INR, and solving this 76.10 divided by 1.10, that's it. Simple question. 76.1 divided by 1.1, and that is 69.18. 69.18. This will be the price which will be applicable. Right? Okay. Now after that, let's move to the other question which is related to the TT buying rate. TT means what? I told you. TT is telegraphic transfer. Means the transaction will be settling in both the centers on the same day. Then the TT rate will be applicable. So it is said that the bank XYZ received a money transfer of 10,000 USDs already credited to the Nostro account, right? So the amount is already credited, means the transaction has already taken place. So the transaction is already settled. It means what rate would be applicable? Because in the exams, this particular thing will not be given to you, that this statement, the question is based upon the buying rate or the TT buying rate or anything else. You need to identify the case, right? So I'm telling you how to identify. So if it is given that the amount is already credited, right, or person A want to remit the money, right, because in that scenario also the bank is to debit the Nostro account and will be directly given to the customer, right? That is the scenario. So when there is no delay between the settlement in both the centers, then the TT rates are applicable. So what amount will be paid to the customer? So the it means to say that this particular amount which is already credited in the Nostro account is basically belonging to some customer. So what amount will be paid to the customer? If the spot rate is given to be 76.30 slash 45, 1 month forward differential is given, exchange margin is given, right? So here's a new factor, exchange margin is given. I'll be telling you that what to do with it, right? So first of all, 1 USD is equal to 76.30 slash 45. So this is a buying rate, this is the selling rate, right? And the person scenario is something like this, that you are a customer of the bank XYZ, and XYZ is maintaining a Nostro account with some foreign bank in the foreign country, in the foreign currency, and your amount, that is 10,000 USD, is already credited in this particular account. This is already credited, right? Now what we basically want to do, these $10,000 belong to person A. The person is the beneficial owner, and the person A want to sell these USDs because customer is involved, so merchant rates will be applicable, and person A will be able to sell at a price at which the bank is ready to buy. It means the buying quote will be given by the customer, right? So it's a buying quote which will be given by the customer. And now we know that there is no delay in between because this is a simple scenario. The bank will be giving because the transaction is already settled, and the bank will be giving the amount as it is. So it is a TT buying rate which will be applicable. Okay, telegraphic transfer. So whenever we are talking about the telegraphic transfer, no forward contract is to be booked. So this particular line which is given 1 month forward differential, this is just to confuse you. This is of no use. This is of no use, right? So the price which will be given to you, we are to basically look for the buying code. So we'll be going for this price. So 1 USD is equal to 76.30 INR, right? So this is the price that we'll be looking for, right? So it is 76.30. And if the quote is the buying quote, if the quote is buying quote, whether it is the bills rate, whether it's a TT rate, the exchange margin is always to be subtracted. Make sure the exchange margin is always to be subtracted, right? So it is to be subtracted if buying quote. And if it is a selling quote, the exchange margin is always to be added, right? Now in this scenario, what will be done? The exchange margin will be subtracted. So it is 76.30 minus what it is given. It is given to be 0.10%, minus 0.10%. It may also be the case in some of the questions that the exchange margin is given to be 10 paisa. Now in that scenario, only 10 paisa is to be subtracted, not percentage of it. Now in this scenario, we'll be subtracting like 76.3 minus 0.1%. The answer is 76.2237. Now question was what amount will be paid to the customer, because 10,000 USD it is related with. So it is 762237, 7,62,000 and 237. This amount will be credited to the customer's account, right? Now let's move to the other question. It says 1 USD is equal to 76.1030. 2 month forward point is given. If person A is to remit the 10,000 USDs after 2 months, now the person is to remit the USDs after how long period? The person is to remit the fund after 2 months. Means we will be dealing with the forward rate. What rate will be dealing with? We will be dealing with the forward rate because the settlement is going to be there after 2 months period. So forward rate will be applicable and forward points are given, right? So the point is 1 USD is equal to 76.10 slash 30. So this is the buying rate, this is the selling rate. Which rate will be applicable? How we are going to check? How we are going to check? We'll be looking for that what type of transaction it is. First of all, it's a interbank rate transaction will be involving, interbank rate will be involving, or the merchant rate will be involving. Now it involves that person A wants to remit, person A wants to remit, right? So it is a merchant rate which will be applicable. So it's a merchant rate will be applicable. And also, if you want to remit the amount, if you want to remit the amount, I need to have the foreign currency first of all. Let's say if I want to basically remit 10,000 USDs, then in that scenario, I must be having the 10,000 USDs with me first of all. But I'm having Indian rupee. So I need to buy the foreign currency. And at what price I'll be able to buy? At which the bank is ready to sell. So what quote will be given? What quote will be given? It will be the selling quote. It will be the selling quote which will be given by the bank, right? Is that clear? So it will be the selling cost which will be given and merchant rate is applicable. So we'll be looking for this price. That is 1 USD is equal to 76.30. So this rate will be applicable. Okay. And the forward points are also given. The forward points are given to be 2 month forward point are given to be 45 slash 35. Means what? These are the buying forward points, these are the selling forward points. And I told you simply if the selling forward points are lesser than that of the buying forward points, it means the currency is available on discount, right? And if the currency is available on discount, then the forward points are to be subtracted. Now in this scenario also, the forward points, which forward points? Selling forward points, that is 35. These forward points are to be subtracted, so it is 75.95. This price will be quoted. So this price will be quoted, right? So what type of transaction this is? What type of transaction this is? This is a TT rate transaction or what type of transaction? Nothing clear because it's going to be there after a delay. So it's a bills transaction, right? It's a bills transaction. And also the rate quoted will be 75.95. And what amount will be debited to the customer's account? It is 75.95 multiplied by 10,000. That is 759500. This amount will be debited to the customer's account. Okay. Are you clear with the points over here? Do let me know at the earliest. Kindly please do confirm if these particular points are clear to you. No. Let's move further. It's related to the problems on the bills buying rate. Related to bills buying rate. Now, on 26th of the March 2020, your customer has presented to you their bill for 50,000 USDs drawn on a party in USA. Request you to purchase the bill. So when we are talking about purchasing the bill, you must be understanding what type of bill this was. Demand bill or the Usain's bill. I just told you it's the case of the demand bill because the it's about purchasing. The naming is saying purchasing is done for the demand bill of exchange. And what about if they have set the uh, name over here related to discounting, it means Usain's bill was there, right? That is the case. Spot rate is given, 1 month forward rate is given, transit period is given to be 20 days, exchange margin is given to be 0.15%, transit period is to be rounded off to the higher month, right? And it's related to 26th March. 26th March. And we're talking about 20 days after on. Yani ki it means it will be taking 20 days so as to get the things done. So as to basically get the bill presented and so as to get the payment from the importer, it will get 20 days, right? So it will be settled around the 16th of April. It will be settled around 16th of April. And it says that the transit period is to be rounded off to the higher month. So it is greater than 15. So it will be rounding off to the month of April. Means 1 month forward rate will be applicable. Getting this particular point? Okay. So it's actually the same funda that I told you in the previous question also. So I'm just telling you again. Let's say case person X is there who is exporter who draw a bill on person I who is importer, and the bill is accepted by person I and returned back to person X over here. Person X presented this bill to the XYZ bank. The bank discounted the bill and given the money to person X. Now XYZ bank will be forwarding the bill to the correspondent part. Let's say PQR bank in the country of person I. PQR bank will be presenting the bill to person I and the payment will be made by I to PQR, and PQR after deducting their fees will be paying the money back to XYZ over here, right? So this is the whole scenario which is going to happen. But we had to deal with this part particularly right now. Right now, when the bill was given, person X want to sell the foreign currency. I told you, in case of the export bills, the buying cost will be applicable, right? So person X want to sell the foreign currency. The person X will be able to sell the foreign currency at a price at which the bank is ready to buy. So buying cost will be applicable. So USD to INR price is given to be 72.30 slash 40. So this is a buying rate, this is a selling rate. The cost which is applicable is the buying rate, so it is 72.30. And also it is to be rounded off to the next month, to the higher month. So these are the buying forward points, these are the selling forward points, and selling forward points are greater than that of the buying forward points. So if it is done, it means the currency is available at premium. I'm writing it over here. So forward points, 1 month forward points are given to be 0.40/50. These are buying forward points, selling forward points. Selling forward points are greater than the buying forward points, means the currency is available on premium. And when the currency is available on premium, the forward points are to be added up. The forward points are to be added up. The spot rate is 72.30 and the forward points are to be added up. Which forward points? Buying forward points. Kindly take a note of this. You are not to basically add the other ones. The chord which was given, we are to consider only those forward points only. So here the buying chord was there. So we'll be adding up the 0.40. 0.40. These are to be added up. So the final price is 72.70. This is a 2 month forward buying rate. 2 month forward buying rate. This is right. Now after that, we are to talk about the exchange margin, because exchange margin is also given. It is given to be 0.15%. And I told you clearly, whenever you are having the buying cost, the exchange margin is to be subtracted. So it will be 72.70 minus 0.15%, right? So simply solving it through the simple calculator, 72.7 minus 0.15%. The answer is 72.59095. Okay. And what amount it was being carrying? It was related to 50,000 USD. So what amount will be credited to the account? Multiplied by 50,000. So it is 36,29,547.50 paisa. This amount will be credited to the customer's account, exporter's account, right? Is that clear? So this was related to the bills buying rate. Why bills rate was applicable? Because there was delay. It was not to be done on the same day, right? So this particular rate will be applicable for that reason. And bills buying rate is actually equal to what? Spot rate plus minus premium discount. We basically discovered the forward rate and then we subtracted the exchange margin from the same. So that will be the scenario. Okay. And after that, it's related to the problem on the TT selling rate. That is a telegraphic selling rate. Telegraphic transfer selling rate. Now, just look at the question first of all. Do not consider the above line. Just look at the question first of all. An importer has requested you to issue a demand draft on USA, right? For 50,000 USD. Now, from this line only itself, it must be clear to you that the telegraphic transfer rate will be applicable. Why? Because here you are, here is a bank, and you want to basically issue a demand draft in the USA. Now, for that particular purpose, you just need to buy the foreign currency. We just need to buy the foreign currency. Only then the demand draft will be issued. Na? We want to buy. And when we want to buy, the we'll be able to buy at what rate at which the bank is ready to sell. So what cost will be applicable? It will be the selling cost. So it will be a selling cost which will be applicable over here. First point. And now the foreign currency is already available with the bank, right? That is a point. Now that's a valid point. The foreign currency is already available with the bank. So when the foreign currency is already available, right, there will be no delay. So what cost will be there? It will be the TT selling cost. Okay, it will be the TT selling cost. So we are having the spot rate. Spot rate is given to be 1 USD is equal to 76.32/48. So this is a buying cost. This is a selling cost. And we'll be considering the selling cost. So it is 76.48. Right? And also this is a selling cost. So whenever the selling cost is there, the exchange margin is to be added up or subtracted. For all the selling costs, the exchange margin is to be added up. So plus 0.15%. That's it. You just solve the question. This is very much easier, right? 76.48 plus 0.15%. So it is 76.595. 472, right? And we were to issue demand draft amounting 50,000 USDs. So multiplied by 50,000. So this amount, that is 38 lakh 29,736, this amount will be debited from the customer's account, from the importer's account, right? So that will be the case. So that will be all related to this video. I hope that you must have learned the concepts from this video. So if you like this video, do save the number, which is 83609 Just save this number in the name of learning sessions or JIIB, and then further forward the message saved for JIIB on the same number. We will be adding you to the update list and you will be start getting all the updates. So thank you so much and see you again in the next video tomorrow. Happy learning.